By the way, if I were listening to this story, I wouldn't believe it. You don't look at someone like Randall Emmett and go, oh, you were with him for his great heart. I get it. I know the optics. I know how the outside world looks at me.
Lala Kent moved from Utah to Los Angeles in 2013 to pursue acting. She worked as a fit model until 2015, when she was hired as a hostess at SUR, the West Hollywood restaurant where employees are also cast members on the Bravo reality show Vanderpump Rules. She began appearing on the series during season 4 and quickly became a fan favorite. But she was no longer Lauren. She became known as Lala.
Lala is a nickname that I've had since I was a child. And when I moved to LA, it was my childhood friends who lived out here and they were showing me the ropes. So I always introduced myself as Lauren, but they introduced me to their friends as Lala. Lala became my armor. I realized this world will eat me alive if I don't go into it with some sort of shield. So even though I am myself when you guys watch me on TV or I'm doing interviews, I just feel like I have this little protection that Lala has given to me.
In 2015, while working at SUR, she met film producer Randall Emmett. Emmett, who had then produced such films as Lone Survivor, End of Watch, and Rambo, took a liking to Kent.
It was a very busy night, and he sent up an assistant, and he said, you know, my boss is a movie producer, and he would really like to put you in a film. He would like to have you audition for this film. Do you have a manager? And it was the next day that my manager said, did you meet a Randall Emmett last night? And I said, yeah, he was that like short guy. He said, you need to look him up because you have a meeting with him. Sorry, it's such a strange... And I think back of, you know, who I am now. And I think about myself back then. Just in such an unfamiliar space. You know, I lived at home until I was 23. When I moved to LA, that was the first time that I had left home. And I wish that I could like go back and like protect that version of myself. I was prime prey for Randall Emmett.
Emmett called Kent's story of their first meeting untrue and said he considered himself prime prey for Lala Kent. I was completely taken advantage of and used for storylines on Vanderpump Rules, Emmett told The Times. Emmett proposed to Kent on the beach in Mexico in 2018. By March 2021, they welcomed a daughter, Ocean. It was after the child's birth that Kent said she began to notice cracks in her relationship with Emmett.
Everyone is so afraid of him. Randall will harass you, call you 500 times until he gets you to a place where you need to be again, to where he calms you and disarms you. He's a staller. He'll calm you for now, buy himself time, and then he'll do the same thing when the time is up.
Emmett has denied claims of harassment against Kent. In a statement, he said he treated Kent like a queen during their relationship and was incredibly generous with her both emotionally and financially.
He was so rude after I gave birth for days on end. But I remember breastfeeding Ocean. I was in the bed. He came up to lay on the bed. And he had said something to me that was, again, just another jab and another poke that I had been taking for the past week. And I had Ocean on my boob, and I leaned down, and I said, watch your mouth. I'm still the same bitch you met when I was 25. Don't get it twisted. I go downstairs, sit on the couch. He comes down and says, bends down, gives me a kiss, says, I'm sorry. And he goes, wow, that was so hot. Another level of the extreme lows to extreme highs. You think I want to say that while I'm breastfeeding my 1-week-old baby?
Emmett called Kent's account untrue. I would never find abusive language like that hot, he said.
And then he would try to make it better and take me to extreme heights. He went out, bought me and my mom Gucci shoes. It was just a never-ending roller coaster of torture. And still to this day, I look at myself and go, how the did you stay? What were you doing? And unless I say, my daughter was supposed to be here because she's such a magical human, I will go insane.
Emmett has denied these claims as well. In June 2022, the Los Angeles Times ran a story about Emmett that detailed how the producer allegedly abused women, assistants, and business partners. He denied all the claims in the investigation, which was published about 8 months after photos surfaced online of him socializing in Nashville with women who were not Kent. After she saw the images in fall 2021, she quickly ended her engagement to Emmett.
When that all came out, it was like, finally, I have a reason to leave him, but it also like hurt my soul that this whole time I felt that I thought I was special. I thought that I was being put in movies because I was a good actress. And so many times people said to me, like, you give blowjobs for your movie roles, and that's how it felt. I was like, they were right. To say that I am beyond scarred from my situation is an understatement. I can't even be around a man without feeling so triggered by everything about them. Like, I literally have sunk into the fact that I will most likely never have, like, a life partner.
Kent is currently in a costly custody battle for her child with Emmett. Meanwhile, she continues to star on Vanderpump Rules, though she isn't always a fan of how she's portrayed by the editors.
I get triggered by the way that my relationship has been portrayed. I think that they like having people be on the fence. Was she a mistress or was she not a mistress? Did she deserve this or did she not deserve this? They like anything that's going to create a buzz or conflict in how you feel about a person on TV. Without the viewers' opinions, we don't have a show. When Lisa sat me down and was drilling me about how I didn't see the red flags, didn't my mom say something to me? She just went on, and I was like, how are these questions being directed at me when you've read the LA Times article? I think the question should go to that person. And then we see everything that happened with Ariana and Sandoval, and not one person asked her how she didn't see the red flags. My heart breaks for Ariana, and I love that everyone rallied around her. Then I think about, I was actually looked at as the person who should have known. I don't even know how I feel about it.
Kent has now been on Vanderpump Rules for 6 seasons, but she's also branching out beyond the reality TV world. Her brand, Give Them Lala, has beauty, skin, and baby lines. She wrote a memoir in 2021. She has a weekly podcast, and this month signed with CAA.
When I was in it, I couldn't tell the ground from the ceiling. After it, I have realized that I have a strength that I never in a million years thought that I had. I have realized that I actually am independent. You know, you can say all day long, you were with him for his money, you were with him for fame. I haven't been with him for a year and a half. I just bought a 7-figure home on my own. I'm creating shows. I have a successful podcast. My daughter's thriving. I don't need anybody. I finally recognize myself again. I remember who I am. I feel free. That's the best way to describe it.